So, if you're watching this live on Twitch, yes, this is live currently. This is session 1 of the Path to Pro with yours truly. We're probably also going to post this content on YouTube. Spencer might pick and choose some different clips and post it on Twitter and other socials. So, if you're wondering what this is going to be a little series as we get into 2K20, showing people what we do behind the scenes, from me as a GM and as a coach for scouting talent, for coaching talent, for game planning. I'm going to show you a couple things that our players do on a weekly basis as well. Thanks for the host, Bronx. Because we really want to, this league is young, man. This league is definitely young. We're going into season 3. And a lot of people still don't know we exist. And a lot of people who might be interested in joining the league still don't know how to qualify or what it takes. So that's what this series is going to be about. I'll be showing quite a few things that you've probably never seen before. Thanks for the sub, Chief. It's good to see you. That you've probably never seen before because I've never showed anyone and I've never seen teams show anyone what they do in terms of game planning and evaluating film and how they scout other teams. And I'll show you how you can apply that to yourself in the combine as well. So if you're sitting at home right now and you're thinking, man, this guy is talking about a video game super seriously. Well, guess what? It is. We play for the Indiana Pacers. We represent the NBA. We represent the whole state of Indiana. And going into season 3, we made playoffs last year, but I want to win a championship. And I want players who are dedicated and are willing to do anything and everything to be good teammates and to grind the game and represent our franchise and our community. So if that's you, you should tune in because I'm going to be dropping a lot of secrets throughout this series as we head into 2K20. So I explained a little bit about the series. Today we're going to talk about offense and how you can play offense in Pro-Am for the rest of 19, which is only a week, how you can play offense in 2K20, and probably how you're going to see offense played in the 2K League next year, or similarly what you might see in the Combine as well. So we're going to talk about offense, we're going to review some film, and I'm also going to show you a rough draft of some of the game plans that I work on a weekly basis with 2K Lab. So a lot of people who come into the league don't really understand the expectations and what you have to do every single day to play at the highest level. Because once you're in the league, sure, that's great, but these franchises, these teams, these coaches are trying to win championships, and you have to do little things that get you over the hump that make you better. And one of those things is how you run offense, how you game plan, how you scout, how you watch your film, how you get better. A couple things offensively that we're going to jump into. So in the league, I have my trusty. Let's get it. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thank you for the follows. I have my little trusty thing here, and if you guys play 2K20, you know it's a primary pick and roll offense. So it's very similar to real basketball. A lot of people don't understand how similar 2K is to real basketball and how a lot of the same concepts can be applied. So usually we got the 1 and the 5. Sometimes you'll see the 4, which if you don't know, the 1 means point guard, 2 shooting guard, 3 small forward, all the way up to 5. So we have the 1 and the 5. If you're running the sharp shot, you have the 3 here on the wing, about the hash where your limitless runs out, maybe a step in. You have the 4 and the 2 in corners. So when we were at the women's combine this last week, one of the very first things I noticed is, appreciate the follow, Crossover, and Luke and Lanes. How's it going, guys? One of the first things I noticed was the lack of spacing because of a lot of these women hadn't played together before they were at the combine. So that was one of the very first things we had to work out. And I know in 2K, a lot of people don't like running in the corners and sitting there. But guess what? In the league, if you play for a team that runs offense, you need to get to the corners to let your ball handler beat the lock up the court to give that spacing. But once you get there, quite often you're going to be used more than you think, depending on the team, depending on the lineup they run. But quite often, if you're in a corner, you have just as important of a role as whether you're a point guard, you're a center, or a shooting guard. So spacing, trust me when I say this, if you are playing the corners, fill from the outside. Super simple, right? We're very high level right now. But a lot of times in the women's combine, I saw they would run straight up the middle and do what we call clogging. So when you play in the combine, thanks for the follows. Thanks for the follows, everybody. When you play in the combine, if you're playing not the 1 or the 5, get out of the way, spread to the corners. So I don't want you to get harassed on the mic. I don't want people telling you you're bad just because you're running right down the middle clogging. Get to the corners, fill your space, fill the wings. On fast breaks, when you're coming up the court, never run right down the middle unless either you call it or your point guard or whoever has the ball calls it. Super simple, right? Super simple. Spacing. It's going to be pretty high level. I'm not going to teach you a stick. I'm going to teach you things that you might not think about when you're logging in and trying to play 2K, but that you need to understand if you're going to play at the highest level in the combine, the highest level in Pro-Am, and the highest level, of course, in the league. So I'm going to show you guys something that a lot of people haven't seen. Here's an example of what you might see if you're playing for a 2K League team. This is what goes into playing at the highest level. So I'm going to run through this like you guys are my 6 players. I got Man in a Car in front of me, Bees, Ramo, Wolf. These guys come in on a weekly basis, and we look at this game plan and try to come up with a strategy of both offensively and defensively, how are we going to go after this team. So as you can see in this PowerPoint, on the left side, 2K Labs already helped me out. We knew Goofy wasn't going to play in this game, so all these statistics on their team rank and how their opponents do against the Knicks are compiled with Goofy not in the game. So if you're coming down here and you want to be one of the best players in the world, you got to be able to look at stats and look at a game plan and take it seriously and understand how you can apply it. Super high level. I scroll down. 5th in points per game. That means they like to get up and down, right? But look, field goal percentage, 20th in the league, 20th out of 21. That means they don't shoot the ball very well. They like to chuck, as some would say. But look, first in the league at 3 points made, meaning they probably have a pretty good shooter, right? So if we come to the next thing, and here's, Matt, I won't show too much, I promise. We're just going to show a couple of these. But here, guys, we have information on every single player. We have all their stats throughout the season up till this point. This was week 9, I think. So if I start looking here, let's see who their shooter is. It's Malik. In games they win, he scores 25. In games they lose, he scores 16. Let's look at his 3-point. In games they win, he shoots 56%. When they lose, he shoots 25%. So if I'm game planning, if I'm one of the players, if I'm in your shoes right now, I'm thinking, hey, man, we got to stop Malik. We got to find a way to stop Malik, right? That's number one. Second, let's look at this. In wins, Kuda, I'm Adam the first, scores 12.5 in wins. In losses, he scores 5 points more. He scores 17 and wins. He scores shoots 30% from 3. And wins, he shoots 50% from 3. So I know this is a lot of data, but if we're sitting here thinking about a game plan, this means they like to get up and down. Malik plays really well when they win. When Kuda plays well, they lose. So guess what our game plan was? Can anybody tell me what you would do? Make Kuda be the scorer. Very good. Both of you are right. So we would look at this and we'd say, hey, whoever's guarding Malik, which would have been Damian, a.k.a. Man in a Car, or Swizz, we're saying we're locking Malik down. When he's getting off-ball screens, we are communicating. We're talking on switches. We're talking on wraps. We're chatting it up. And when Adam has the ball, Wolf is on an island. We're saying, Wolf, you and Kuda, let him come at you. Good luck scoring 30 against Wolf. Not going to happen. All right? So that's just an example of kind of how we look at data. 2K Lab has something about Bench and Goofy. Knicks are shooting the most threes by a good margin, preventing Malik and Haza from getting open looks. So if you look on the left, Haza wasn't scoring in losses, meaning don't leave the corner because he's primarily a lock. Those are a couple things you can take into account and think about. This is how seriously I want you to understand we're taking this. And if you want to be a player, you should start taking your game seriously right now. Don't wait until 2K20 comes out. Don't wait until Pro-Am starts. Don't wait until the Combine, heaven forbid, is announced. You should start taking your game to the next level right now. And I'll show you exactly what you need to do. All right? So if we keep going through, we got winner and losing stats at the bottom. The Knicks scored 25 more points when they won. If you look, they turned it over more in wins, but they're still getting up and down, and they shoot 13% better. You're 3 pages deep, oh gosh, from 3. Okay? Another thing, we can look at their positional averages. So right here, we look, small forward, 23 points a game. We know that's probably Malik most of the time. Got to stop him. If we look at opponent's rank, what stat here do you think makes me excited right here? Oh yeah, thanks for the follows, guys. Power forward points, Leafy. Well done. So when I see that, I'm going to Ramo on Monday morning before we play the Knicks, and I say, guess what, Ramo? The ball is coming to you. If you don't shoot at least 20 times in this game, we got a problem. Ramo can tell you. If he's in here, he'll tell you. Quite often, I would go to Ramo and I'd say, guess what? Have a field day. Go to work. Enjoy. Because that's what we did, and when we were most successful, Ramo was scoring the basketball. And then we have it broken down into archetypes they've played. This is from a previous game, so we can see our stats, how we shot, how we defended. And then we have the same thing against the Wiz. So another thing you all need to understand is when you're in the league, sometimes you have to play doubleheaders. In tournaments, you could be playing 3, 4, 5 different teams in a matter of a day, 2 days. So you have to be able to think critically on the fly, take in a lot of information, be able to communicate back what you think, and work with 4 other guys who have different backgrounds and different beliefs than you. Man, it's tough. When I say playing in the league is tough, being a player is a tough job, and there's a lot of pressure on you, and you got to understand that when you're trying out in the Combine, because if you feel pressure in the Combine, try playing in front of 10,000 people on Twitch, playing for the whole state of Indiana. But if you're up for that, this is for you. This is for you. So Wiz here, we'll go through this real quick as well. Similar to the Knicks, we look at Reese. Look at that. 23 when they win, 12 when they lose. Got to stop him. 3-point percentage, 47-36. Dayfry's going to get his no matter what. Another key, let's look at Gilly. 13.5 rebounds to 8.5 win-loss. We got to keep Gilly off the boards. Got to keep Gilly off the boards no matter what. All right? So look, 2K Labs already got me hooked up. Reese is the key to the Wizards winning. Keep Gilly off the boards. If we go down here, 20 assists and wins, 13 in losses. Can't let them share the ball. We want to get the ball in JT's hands and not let him give the ball to anyone else, really. But we don't want him facilitating and getting Dayfry open. He was playing the stretch at this point. And got to keep Gilly off those boards, okay? So here we go. We'll skip. Usually we have this rundown, and then we go straight into the film. So 2K Lab will cut up specific film segments that I request. So I'll go through these with the guys, and we'll say, hey, let's watch some clips of what Reese and Dayfry do really well together. Let's watch some clips of how Gilly gets boards and maybe how we can stop him. All right? So first thing, I'm going to mute this so it's not too loud. But on this play, you can see at the bottom, it's a Reese wrap around with Dayfry for an open 3. They ran this play a lot, and we wanted to come up with a plan on how to stop it. So let's watch it one more time. Reese gets the ball in the inbound. He throws it to Dayfry and does what we call a hula hoop. Ramo does it too. He gets it. He tries to get Reese's defender to get stuck on his body. Simple wrap, dot. He misses the three, but it's open. So if you were guarding this, what would you do? Switch, switch, switch. Sounds pretty simple, right? Okay. I agree with you. Because we have Reese on the 3 and we have Dayfry on the 4, and the 3 and the 4 are defending them, you can switch because you're the same height there, right? Make it simple. Trey, you go ahead and step over. He played a little bit too low on Dayfry and couldn't go. So this is just an example of, everybody in chat, you knew you should switch, right? You knew you should switch that. But if you don't game plan ahead of time and understand that that's an automatic switch on those two positions when you see this play, in the headsets with everything going on in the studio, it might be tough to call it out. So that's why it's important to watch film ahead of time. This isn't only about the league. And come up with a game plan to understand what you're going to do when you get into those important positions. All right, let's watch one more here. All right, so with Gilly, we know he is excellent on the offensive glass, right? Excellent on the offensive glass. There we see right there. Perfect. He didn't even have excellent position here, but look, he gets inside Larry. He goes dead zone. He actually fronts him. Larry has a bad jump. Gilly dot back to Dayfry. Who in chat can tell me who is usually the most open player off an offensive rebound? I'm going to say it's the shooter. Dayfry happened to be in the corner too, so I'll give it to you. But usually in 2K, you're going to see the guy who shot the ball, his man has a tendency for whatever reason to follow the ball and try to crash. So if you're big and you're playing Pro-Am, you're in the Combine, you make the league next year, hopefully you're on my team, you get the board, usually the dot is back to the player who shot it. So when Ramo was on post score this year, we knew Ramo's going to put it up. B's, look, it's going to be RBY, right back to Ramo. We'll watch one more clip here before we move on. So here's another example of an offense you can run. Okay, it usually works on almost every single 2K. We saw a lot of it at the end of the year in 2K18 with Kuda and Goofy. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's the free board offense, right? We won't run the whole thing, but look, right here, this is what's important. And this, if you take anything from this video or this live stream, and I'm sure all the other coaches and managers and GMs who are scouting me scouting right now can tell you, is communication is the most important thing in 2K. Communication is the most important thing in 2K, right? You can sit here and play 5 billion games in our amazing training facility like our players did and really develop some chemistry, but if you don't talk, you can't read each other's minds. You just can't do it. People are thinking different things at different times. The game is fast moving. So why not just open your mouth and tell each other what's going on? So in this circumstance, I guarantee you Gilly is saying, Dayfry, I have position, throw up a free. Dayfry says, free, got it. I shoot it. Look, this is a terrible shot. Looks like a terrible shot, but guess what? It's a great shot. Into the shot clock. Gilly gets the board. He's one-on-one with God at 2K, gets a foul. Beautiful. So how we would scout this, we can't let Dayfry chuck up freeze. We don't want to switch the lock onto Gilly if we can help it. Simple as that, but what I want you to know is communicate in everything. Communicate in everything you do in the Combine, in Pro-Am, outside the game. It all matters. It all matters, okay? So we watched 3 clips there, and as you can see, we have 15 clips just for the Wizards, right? So my team, we do all the scouting, all the game planning on the stats to come up with certain things we want to focus on in the games ahead for that week. Then we watch all of those clips specifically, and then we usually watch 1 to 2 of full games where we can see the team going up and down. Usually it's in that TV. Can you see it? Let's see. So usually all the guys sit around in the middle here and we're watching it on that TV. I'm usually controlling it, or Wolf or Ramo or one of the guys, and we talk through what we see on a weekly basis. So what does that mean? How does that affect you? Okay? First thing I would say is this year in the combine, and I told my ladies this at the women's development camp too, you should take your time in between games, take a look at your stats. You have box scores from every single game. See what you're doing well, see what you might not be doing well, and then maybe watch back a game or two. You don't even have to watch a full game. Take 3 minutes. Take 3 minutes and say, why is my assist turnover ratio low? Right? Where am I turning the ball over? How can I get better at facilitating more and taking care of the ball for my team? Watch it for 3 minutes, okay? Then hop back into the next combine game. If you want to be in this league, you have 40 games to prove yourself. Why not take those couple minutes, analyze some of your gameplay exactly like we just did, maybe write a couple notes, hop back into the combine, and you're going to play better. You're going to play better because you understand what you could do to up your game to the next level, just that tiny bit that could make a difference in the combine, okay? Do you guys scrimmage these concepts? Yes and no. That's a great question, Fish. If you have a practice squad, it's usually easier. This year we didn't have a practice squad as much, but what we did do is try to line up who we play against in scrims with other teams that might align with who we're playing on that week. So say we're playing the Bucks and they're running a post score with Rondo, we might try to schedule the Hawks to get that look against us for that whole week of practice. So it's more of that as opposed to going in and playing like 3-on-3 against a post scorer, because it really doesn't give you the same look as you're going to get against a full team. Next on my list, I'm going to talk to you guys about the combine a little bit. So first thing I would say about the combine is if you have questions about what you should do, what positions you should play, and how you should go about handling the combine, stay tuned to our channel on Pacers Gaming. We have a lot of videos from last year with suggestions on how to approach the combine. They're going to apply to 2K20. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel. Another great resource is Nacho. So Nacho has a YouTube channel where he talked a ton about the combine last year. He was an absolute warrior and tried out for every position, got at least 40 games in each, and made it both years without having a name, without playing on a top pro-am team. He cracked the code of the combine, so I highly recommend looking to Nacho for combine tips. One thing, like I said, start now. If you want to try on the combine, fix your social media. If you have things you said in the past that you're not proud of or that could come up and play a role in the selection process, get rid of them. Get rid of your Twitter, reset, get your mind right, be a professional, because that's what we expect here. Stream if you can. I want to watch your combine games. I want to have footage I can go back and look at. Beezy, Maddie, all those guys that I drafted, I either watched combine live or I went back and watched their film. Having comms and listening to your communication is very important to me. Play Pro-Am in 2K20. Get on a good team. If you're not yet, there should be a link down low on this Twitch or this on our underlay, on our Twitch channel or on YouTube or on Twitter. You can find our Discord. If you join our Discord, you can find a team. I promise you. We have people in there all the time asking to get on new Pro-Am teams. 2K20, get on a Pro-Am team, start playing at the highest level now. Interviews. So someone, I think Icy said, how important are interviews to you? Interviews play a really important role in the selection process for us. And I think for other teams, I would like to think that they put a lot of emphasis on it as well. Thanks for the host, Royals. Because it's the one chance we get to talk with you face to face for 15 to 30 minutes and get to know who you are. So all of my players, all the players in the league can tell you it's not always easy to live with someone and work with someone and play with someone for 6 months between 8 to 12 hours every single day. And that interview is the one time that I can really sit down and try to get to know you as a normal person face to face. So that doesn't mean put a lot of pressure on yourself during that time when you do make it. It means take the time to prepare right now. Like I said, do mock interviews. Talk with people who interview others. Maybe your parents are a manager and hire people, or there are people in the community who do mock interviews for fun to try to help prepare you. Take advantage of those resources, because I want to get to know you on a personal level to see if I think you'll fit into the culture we've built here, and I'm sure it's the same at a lot of other teams as well. Are teams able to look if someone has a social issue? I'm pretty awful at interviews both years. Yeah, I mean, so if you tell me in the interview and you're like, hey, I'm bad at these, usually I'm going to be like, okay, that's fine. Let's just chat like we're not in an interview, right? So if you're upfront and honest, if you're nervous or whatever, you might as well say it. Be like, hey, I'm really good at 2K, but I'm not comfortable in an interview setting. I just want you to understand that. So let's just talk like we're getting to know each other, right? That's what I would recommend for sure. What do you say about how many positions you should try out for in the combine? Great question. You should definitely play whatever primary position you're looking to try out for. So if you want to be a point guard, no doubt try out as a point guard. If you can only play 40 games, play your best position. If you can play more, I would play as many as you possibly can and make sure you get over the threshold. So don't waste your time necessarily and play 20 if you don't think you're going to be able to finish a position. So I would play as many as I can. And one thing Nacho said was, if let's say you're trying out as a sharp, your main position is a shooting guard. When you go into the combine, the very first game, play on a small forward to get your shot right, to get in the right mindset, to get warmed up. Don't just jump in straight into shooting guard. So I think that was a great point. He said he would come in on an off position that he really didn't think he had as high of a chance of making the qualification for, and he would warm up on that build. And then he would go straight into shooting guard and kill the game. So I think that's a great little nugget of advice from Nacho. First thing I would do in every single combine game is get on the mic and say, mic check, what's up? How are you guys? What are we looking to do here? I think you should talk every single time, no matter what. Be the leader on your team so there's no toxicity. Be the positive one from the rip. And a lot of times that's going to help. Time management due to work. That's tough. One thing Chiquita said was she would schedule, before the combine even started, she scheduled out every single window she was going to be able to play and how many games of time she had in that window. So don't wait until you're in the thick of the combine and you're worried that you might not get enough time. Schedule out what windows you're going to be able to play and how many games in each window you're going to be able to play. So if each game's 30 minutes, say you can play for 4 hours, there you go. You can play 8 games. So think about it like that. Let's hop in. Let's watch some more film. I've picked a game here of Nets and Bucks. This is the week. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. This was the game before we played the Nets. So I'm just going to run through it, and I'm going to act like I'm scouting, and you guys are my players, and we're going to see how we're going to play against the Nets. Okay? So first thing, off the tip, what do I notice? First thing is they get into pick and roll. They don't run anything special off the rip. Second thing I notice is they pass the lav off the rip. That means probably a lot of the game they're going to run 2 ball handlers, which we're expecting, and they're probably going to go ISO a lot more with lav. Less off-ball screens, more work with just lav. High pick and roll here. No movement from any of the other 3 players. So when I see that, I'm telling my guys to shrink the court. Slay does a little bit. Uh-oh, is this going to lag? See how Slay pinches just a tiny bit? You want to make lav think. But when I'm watching the film, what I'm thinking there is Lav did a behind the back to the middle. That's the first thing I see. Let's see if he does something else next time down. Okay, defensively, they look a little bit out of whack. Okay, so maybe here we can attack Shuttles. When he gets aboard, we might be able to play aggressively on the pass back to the point guard. And look at that. Wavy's late getting to his man. He gets stuck on Rondo a little bit. So we got to watch Wavy and see if he consistently plays like that.
Hectic to start the game. Plucks back and forth, missed shots. And finally Nets crew can get up, set up in a half-court set. And as soon as I say that,
they got straight back into pick and roll there. Straight back into pick and roll there, so we haven't seen the Nets run anything special yet.
Last game. Shuttle's gonna have his hands full once more with Blonde.
So we weren't going to run a post score against this team, so the defense is a little bit different. So we're going to focus more on offense here. But if I was scouting for a post score lineup, Shuttles jumped on the very first play.
His first 2 points.
All right, straight back into the same thing. Nate, Shockey are on the same corner. Lav's on the wing. They're running high ISO. High pick and roll, excuse me.
The silent bucket. See, Wavy gets a shot.
All right. So, I'm sorry, Wavy, if you're in here. Kurt, Weil, don't listen too much, but I scouted this team a lot. And I'll give you an example of something we pick up on. So I scouted this team quite a bit. One of the very first things I noticed was I want you all to watch Wavy the rest of the game. When he has the ball, if he does any dribble moves, there are no cuts and there are no plays. Got it? If you see a dribble move, if he is using his right stick, there are no plays called. If he does not use a dribble move, a play is being called. Okay? So, here's what I told my guys. Here's our game plan. With Wavy, if he has the ball and he starts doing dribble moves, everybody stays home. I don't want you shrinking the court. I want you staying tight. Or excuse me, if he's doing dribble moves, we want you to shrink the court. I want you to make him make a pass, bait him. If there are no dribble moves, you are staying locked on your man. You are window washing. You are window washing. So right here, as soon as I see this behind the back and I'm one of my players, I know to shrink the court. Look, no cuts. Nate went late. He chucks it up. Luckily, it goes in for him. I'm going to skip ahead to their offense again here.
Gets A-Rooks on the wrap. A-Rooks knocks it down from downtown. Too easy. Too easy. You got to figure out how to defend that wrap against A-Rooks because he'll do that to you all
Get the ball into Wavy. They clear out. Might be a good opportunity to pinch against this team because Shock stays in the backcourt. Lav's here. RSG or A-Rooks could have pinched there. All right, I see it behind the back. I see another dribble move. He's not calling a play. Ooh, he dotted there, though. Look at that. First time we've seen a pass. So pretty simple, though, right? Didn't call a cut. Didn't call much, but there was a pass there. All right, let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. So far, nothing we can really game plan for. It's just high pick and roll. They're going to make it easy. See a lot of dribble moves. He's not passing the ball when he does a lot of dribble moves. Boom. Bucks are flying. Nets get back okay. Shuttles jumped again. So if I'm game planning for and I'm playing a post score, Shuttles has jumped twice on the first two plays.
Nate really is an incredible dunker, even on.
All right, let's get back ahead to their offense here. This makes sense? This makes sense? I just want you guys to see what we kind of look for, so you know what to expect when you make the league a little bit. All right, same thing. Look, everybody's playing their same corner, same wing.
Somehow hits off of
They haven't thrown anything crazy at us so far yet. We know what to expect. Jump ball. See if they do anything crazy out of the jump ball.
Not good enough for that. Shout out to our guy Arda O'Connell.
Nothing crazy. Shock's passed it to Lav twice now. So we could so far assume that Shock's first look might be to Lav. All right, let's see what Wavy does here. Dribble move, walk back. That means he's shooting it. If we see him doing a dribble move, walk back, he's not looking to pass. Never looking to pass off that. All right, let's see if they run an out of bounds play here. So this is one of the first things I look for. So the ball goes to Nate out of bounds. So that means my point guard, that's going to be Matty. Anytime we see a sideline out of bounds, I'm telling Matt, hey, be ready. The ball's probably going to Nate. And I know we've only seen one play where it does, but quite often they run one play. Here's a quick tip for you guys. We'll say 5's taking it out. Shot goes opposite corner. Lav usually plays opposite wing. So what you'll see, let me go here. So what you'll see here is this setup. You see the 4, the 5 take the ball out of bounds. Hopefully you guys can see it. And what Nate does, he's on a slashing defender. So he'll come up into this area so his defender can't even see him on his screen. Right? He comes up super high. And usually you just inbound the ball right to the 1. But in this case, Nate runs back and forth for a second, and he goes straight back door. And the pass goes directly to Nate. Okay? We had a play similar called Knicks. But that's just an example of something you want to look at if you're scouting for Pro-Am, if you're scouting to make the league, or you are in the league. Something like that. If you don't know that that's coming, you're going to get burned on it at least once a game, and that could make a difference. So that's a play that the Nets ran and quite a few other teams did as well. So here, we've seen a lot of shots from Wavy and Lav. That means I'm telling my bigs and my point guard corners, be ready to pinch. Be ready to pinch because they are not throwing dots. Right? We saw early in the year the Sixers, Brett had 9 steals, I think. Steez had 9 steals. That means we want to be very aggressive, pinching and shrinking the court on their guards. Okay? We've talked about film. We've talked about the combine. I talked about expectations with marketability. We talked about the interview process in the combine. Showed you a little bit of stats and behind the scenes on what we do to break down teams, game plans, scoutings, all those things. Ramo can tell you, Damian, if he's still in here, other players on other teams. That's going to give you the slightest advantage that could take your game to the next level to win some tournaments, make the playoffs, and make some money too, okay? If you are advanced, let's say you're a very advanced, high-level Pro-Am player and you're hanging out here trying to make it, more power to you. Happy for you. Okay, this is going to be for a couple people who might be new to Pro-Am or are trying to understand offense in the league and don't run a lot of things that have their corners moving and give them looks outside of pick and roll or 5 out. So I'm going to show you quick normal lineup, right? We got the 1 and the 5 in the pick and roll. We have the 4, whether that's a 3 and D you're playing in the league build or maybe a slashing stretch. You got a lock in the corner and your shooter on the wing here, okay? So everybody knows Fifi, right? I've showed Fifi before. I'll go ahead and show it again so you all know. Let me draw it out for you. So here it is. Fifi, the 1. Dribbles off the screen to the middle of the court, off the 5. Your main goal is to get this man to pinch, right? We want the 5 to make contact on the point guard or the lockdown defending the point guard. So we want this X to come and pinch in the middle of the court. While that's happening, the 2 is sliding back door to carry this defender, and the 3 slides to the corner. 3 should be wide open because this man has to pinch. Got it? So the point guard's first look is to shoot. Second look is the back door. Third look, but usually the most successful, is the 3 shooter sliding to the corner. That's Fifi. Okay? So I've showed that before on here. But what is here? Here's something we ran. This is called reverse Fifi. So if we've run Fifi a couple times, we would go to something like this. And usually we would flip these players because Ramo played stretch. So Ramo's now in this corner. So the 1 dribble drives to the middle. We still want this person to commit. And now we have the 3, which is the shooter, back door, and the 4 flares up to the wing. So the goal of this is the person who's guarding the shooter is either going to drop on the cut or they're going to pinch to the middle. And this 4, if they pinch, whoever's guarding the corner is probably going to drop down and try to stop that cut. Theoretically, the 4 is going to be wide open on the wing for a jump shot. Okay? That's what we call reverse Fifi. They need to do it simultaneously. Yes. Good point, Ramo. So when the point guard says go in both of these sets, if it's normal Fifi, the corner is cutting and the shooter is sliding at the exact same time. It's not boom, then boom. It's boom. Everybody at the same time. Same with this. As soon as the 3 cuts, the 4 is coming to the wing. Okay? So those are 2 super simple examples of things you can run. And in our playbook, we probably had, 20, 25 plays, 30 plays in and out that we would run throughout the year. You don't have to run plays. I think it's very important in 2K, in the combine, if you're trying to get better and play at the highest level, have some movement going on in your offense, right? If one of your best players is your 4, your power forward, like ours was with Ramo, we have to find ways to get him the ball other than him sitting in a corner and hoping we get to pass to him sometimes, right? So I recommend, I'm dead serious, you can apply a lot of things if you play real hoops. Think about it and how it can work in 2K. I understand that not every play, not every screen works in 2K, so it's a little bit different, but that's a good way to take your game to the next level. Got it? We've shown you some offense. We've shown you what we expect in the 2K League from a player when you're game planning and scouting to play other teams on a weekly basis. Make sure you go back and watch the recap of this stream, the rebroadcast. It'll be pulled on YouTube as well. Gave some hints and suggestions and tips on Combine this year, how you should attack it, how you can play multiple positions to get warmed up for your primary position, how important communication is in the 2K League. We talked about you can play with your team for 6 months straight and really get to know each other. But if you don't communicate, it's hard to be the very best team. Why not open your mouth and let each other know what you're thinking? Best way to get your name out there. First, I would say play Pro-Am, so Big Techs. I know I saw you're starting your own team. That's fine. Try to play at the absolute highest possible level you can. So enter as many tournaments, play WR, play MPBA, play all those smaller leagues. If you live close to a team, go to their events. You might see some teams running tournaments this offseason. If you're close, go and play. Go meet the players. Go meet the coaches. Introduce yourself. If you have the ability to stream. If you're good at making content, make YouTube videos. Go above and beyond what you think you should do. Network. There you go. Ramo's precise or exactly right. If you love 2K and this is your goal, why would you not go out and network and meet as many people as you possibly can who share the same love of 2K with you? Like these, if this is what you want to do, this, what's up, JoJo? If this is what you want to do, you got to take advantage of every opportunity and go above and beyond to make your dream come to reality. With that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully you find some nuggets here and there from this stream. If you have suggestions on what you want to learn about or see more, hit me up on Twitter. Join our Discord. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel if you're watching right now on YouTube, and let us know, because I want to help you guys succeed. If there are players out there who are interested in making the 2K League and don't know what they need to do to play at the highest level and are willing to be coached and are willing to learn, then I want to coach you. I want to teach you, and I want to share all my knowledge as much as I can to help you be successful. So good luck to everybody. This was session 1, The Path to Pro, Pacers Gaming with Cody Parent. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time, probably sometime before 2K20 drops next week. Have a great day. Go Pacers.
Good. Let's go. I'm a go, boys. Foul. Give me that. I'm a dog.